Hello, we're talking about printing today. Okay, I can start? Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about printing in logistics. I don't know how familiar all of you are with the logistics apps, but we have a lot of places in it where you can print things, and a lot of people's workflows require printing. So, as we all know, printing can be a huge pain in the butt. So, as you can see, I have my whole setup here with the IoT machine. I've got a Zebra printer for my labels, and I've also got a traditional printer. And so within the logistics apps, which includes both inventory and manufacturing, as well as a few other apps, we have a few places where people may want to print things, and they may be tired of having to every time look up, okay, I need to print my my delivery slip, for example. So I have to click the print button after I'm done. Okay, but now I also need my labels. Now I need to click on my label button. So what we did is we added in a new feature where now you can choose to automatically print certain things when you are done with your picking, and also with some of your manufacturing orders, we can auto print some things within that as well. So here's an example of some of the things that people might want to print that I mentioned earlier, where you have to go to the print dropdown and then choose, okay, I need to print my delivery slip, I need to print out my packages, I need to print out my return slip, which is a new feature. So if you don't know what the return slip is, don't worry. It's just a piece of paper that we have that says, if you'd like to return this package, scan this, put this paper in your package so that when you receive it, you can scan it and it'll immediately open up return picking for you. Or picking, and then you can easily create a return. And then with the labels, we have many different formats for depending on what your users' needs are. And then within manufacturing orders, we also have things such as you need to print out your serial number, you need to print out your production order, you need to print out your final product labels, things like that. So now in 17, you can now choose, depending on which operation type it is, which things you'd exactly like to print out. And then for certain things, you have to specify. So for example, if you print out product labels, you need to choose which type you want it to automatically print every time. And then also, same thing with your lots and serial numbers. And then one small thing I should point out is we already had automatic printing for shipping labels, which is, for example, if you have a DHL or UPS connector, that you could already configure it to print out a label from a specific printer. But now we switch it a little bit, where now there's actually a proper report. So instead of specifying it on the operation type, you specify it on a specific report type that we have. And that might sound a little bit strange if for some reason you want to print on different printers depending on which operation type it is. But there's actually also a new feature within the IoT machine where you can now assign multiple printers to the same report. And now when you print for the first time, it'll ask you which printer would you like to choose. And then it'll remember that printer at that particular workstation. So then that way at your different workstations, you can set up different printers. But I won't be demoing that today because that's a different team scope. And I just want to show you the auto printing feature. And so I'm going to show you how to do this because there's many different places you can do it. And so you can all be amazed by my automatic printing as well. So first, we're going to go into my inventory. And we can make a new operation where I already have a test product set up. My test product has a barcode already pre-configured. I can say how many I want. I can mark it to do. And now, because I already went into my operation type, and I went into my receipt, and I said, I would like to automatically print my delivery slip when I validate. And I would also like to automatically print my product labels as on my Zebra printer right here. And then now, when I validate my receipt, it will automatically print. I hope you can all see, so it's a little small. And then this guy is going to print eventually, but since it is a traditional printer, it takes a little bit of time. And yeah, eventually it will print, I promise. But so the other thing I would like to point out is for people who are only using the community version of Odoo, they won't have access to an IoT machine necessarily. So what we have, in addition to that, oh, here comes my delivery slip, like magic. And so to demonstrate, I have some other reports where I have not assigned a printer to them. So for example, if I do a return slip, and let's say, we're also going to do the package label. Now, if I do a receipt, oh, sorry. Yeah. Now if we do a receipt, my test product, I deactivated the printers just to make sure that we don't waste paper unnecessarily. Now when I save it and validate, what will happen is it'll automatically create the PDF. So it's the same exact action as if I went here and went print and then went return slip. So you can chain all of your different reports that you want to print together, and then if you want to do your own customization, for example, put it in a specific folder so that you can go and print them easily later on, then you can easily do that. The only thing I warn against is that because it's within a web browser, if you do have multiple PDFs that should be generated, you need to make sure your web browser knows that it should allow multiple downloads, or it will just automatically block it. By default, it's usually blocked. And so the other thing I would like to point out is also that it's not only when you validate. So for example, I activated the put in, generate the package label, and that happens when you click on the put in pack button. So now if I click on put in pack, it'll automatically download my package barcode. And there's a couple places where this has been added in, so it also exists within manufacturing. So manufacturing. And now if we create a new manufacturing order, we can do something where we're creating some sort of test serial number, unique serial number. And I can also configure it. Unfortunately, you have to configure all of your operation types within the inventory app specifically. I can now specifically say that I would like to automatically generate my lot serial number when I click on the button that automatically generates one for me. And we can also do all the traditional ones as well for when you mark the manufacturing order is done. So now, with my automatic thing, when I push this button, it'll also automatically generate the PDF. If I'd configured a printer, it would just automatically print out. And now when I produce all, you can see that it also automatically produced my manufacturing order report. The other thing that we took care for this is that the same features also exist within the barcode app. So that when you validate a picking within the barcode app, it'll also do the automatic printing for you. And that includes both for the for regular picking as well as the manufacturing orders. If you're aware that we have the new feature as well, where you can do barcode for manufacturing orders as well. And then also with our new shop floor, it will also automatically print within that as well. So for example, if I did something where I generated a serial number here, it'll also automatically print here as well. And also when you close and then mark the production as done, it will also automatically print at that point as well. So close. And that is essentially the printing. I should probably also show you, for those who are not familiar with the IoT devices, when you go in to configure your report, you just add them here. And then the IoT machine will automatically do the connection for you when you do the print. From a technical point of view, these auto printings only occur when you click on the buttons as well. If you try to do something like a direct print from an SSH, then it won't work necessarily. So yes. And that is essentially it. It's a pretty small but powerful feature, I think. I think maybe we could take questions already if anyone has any questions. Should I open the pad, or is it okay?
Thank you for the presentation. We have one question so far, and just to generalize the question a little bit, uh, they're asking, can I create a custom palette label in Odoo Studio? And if so, what steps should I take to ensure it's properly integrated with inventory management system?
So you want to create a custom palette label?
Yeah, specifically create a GS1 SSC palette label.
So we already have a feature where you can generate the GS1 GS1 barcodes. So this one specifically is for lots and serial numbers, but we also have in some logic where if your package name is a GS1 compliant package barcode, then it'll automatically detect it and generate it for you. But you can also try to create your own custom Studio one as well. I'm not an expert with Studio, and I don't have it installed right now. But for generating the barcode, it might be a little bit tricky. But you can customize the rest of the report yourself as you prefer.
Okay. Awesome. So we now have another question. It's, do we need to use IoT to connect printers?
So I'm pretty sure that you do. We don't have any other way to directly connect a printer to Odoo without it.
Okay. Awesome. For the time being, if there's any other questions, feel free to add them to the pad.
Yep.
But for the time being, oh, if you can put up the QR code.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so our next question is it possible to automatically print two documents on two different printers after validating a delivery to a non-EU country, label and A4 custom documents?
It is not to do it. It's not possible to do it after it's already validated. We only have the feature set up for when you do the validation itself, because we take advantage of the way that the Odoo ecosystem is set up. And there's no way to do automatic printing outside of doing some sort of clicking on a button sort of action like that.
Okay, so another question is, can you or how do you create ZPL labels?
You mean create custom ones, or do you mean print them out in general?
I believe they mean custom, because I know we have the ones that are already
yes.
like pre-made.
I've never tried doing Studio for one of our ZPL templates, but if you want, you could always just edit your template directly. You'll have to look up the ZPL documentation for exactly what you want to put in it, and then any ZPL printer will be able to read the format as long as you do it correctly. One thing I recommend, since I've had to work on them myself, is that there are websites where you can put in your ZPL code to make sure that it prints what you actually expect it to print. And if it throws an error, then you know right away that something is wrong in the way that you've coded it.
Yes, from experience that I've had trying to modify labels previously, it's not something that is currently available with Studio. However, if you are a little bit more tech savvy, you can go into the reports to modify them there. But
we did modify it for 17, where now each product label type is a separate PDF type.
Oh, okay.
So you can edit it, but the Studio report editing has also changed significantly in 17. So I personally am not very good at customizing it, but perhaps you can figure it out. But I think they tried to ease it in terms of it's more focused now on just changing font sizes, things like that. So it might be a little bit harder to put in custom fields and things like that.
Of course. Okay, so for our next questions, it says, what steps can you take when you print ZPL labels and the formatting is not correct? For example, the barcode positioning is not correct and the info is missing.
So with that, the barcode should. So we've tested it in our standard Zebra printers, and for us, the barcode should be in the correct spot. It could be either they're using a different type of printer, or maybe someone tried to do a customization. But one thing that you can always do is you can always submit a help ticket, because we do sometimes have to go in and edit it a bit, because sometimes there's some edge cases we didn't think about. Like, for example, I remember we had to fix it because the product name was way too long with the, and then so we had to do it so that it correctly wrapped around rather than just overlap with the barcode. Sometimes we have issues like that.
Awesome. Okay. Can you print from devices like PDAs?
Oh, so like a personal device, like a one of the smartphone barcode readers, or?
I'm not exactly sure. So if whoever wrote down,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So when I was saying that it's fully integrated with the barcode app, yes. So if you do the scanning and then you click validate, it should still automatically print as well. Although I don't know if I recommend it with the PDF, because that might be a little strange to have a PDF open up on your barcode reader. But if that's what you want, you can do that as well.
Okay. So another question that we have is, do you need the IoT physical box still, or is it just the IoT app enough in version 17?
I don't know what the IoT app is, since it's a different team. So I'm using the IoT device. So I would say yes.
Okay. What about using CUPS instead of IoT box?
I don't know what that is, because I haven't really done much with IoT. You can always ask our IoT guys. They're over by the bar.
Okay. And so, yeah, I think our last question is, can we use a SATO printer with ZPL language?
I don't know what a SATO printer is. So I'm not sure. It's not something that we test for with Odoo, so you can try it, but I can't guarantee anything.
Awesome. So, if anyone has any other questions, in chat, do I need one IoT box for every device?
Oh, okay, no, we do not.
Yeah. Sorry.
I have someone helping me out a little on the side.
Okay.
So.
Can I connect Bluetooth printers?
I'm not sure about that either. I'm going to guess maybe no.
Okay.
Sorry, again, that's another one where you can always go bug the IoT guys as well, because they would know better than me. But as far as I know, we plug everything directly into our IoT box.
Okay. There are also a couple of questions that are a bit unrelated. So I will be, in case you don't hear your question being answered. Sorry.
And you can always come to the logistics booth after this as well, and we can all answer your questions.
Yeah, for the time being, these are pretty much all the questions that I've written down so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks.
You. Okay.